Hello and welcome everyone. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at an introduction to Excel. So um, we want to know exactly what Excel is, what it's used for, and then we're going to look at some of the basic things in Excel like cells, how to insert data in Excel and all that, and also some basic arithmetic. So we're going to be doing some basic arithmetic. That's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So to start with, we can simply define Excel as a software program created by Microsoft. So it's called Microsoft Excel. That uses spreadsheets to organize numbers and data with formulas and functions. So Excel is used for a wide range of things by so many people, so many businesses. No matter how big they are, no matter how small they are, Excel is very useful. So Excel is used for accounting, data management. You can see all these examples that have been given right here. Okay, so well, I think we should dive into some practice. Let's actually look at Excel itself. Um, okay, so sorry about that. Let's just go back. Let's just go to Excel. Okay, so here's an example of a practical use of Excel. Um, we've got a table here showing us the top scorers in football. So we can just zoom in so that you can see that. This is our table. And then we can actually view this data using a chart. Okay, so from our chart here, we can do just some simple analysis. We can tell to say all the goal scorers have got higher, most goals come from the league. I guess you can see right there. So that's for the league. I guess you can see from our map legend and all that. So okay, that's just an example. That's just an example. You can look at the chart, you can see to say, okay, the numbers are matching and all that. So we're going to learn all this, although in this lecture, we're not really looking at charts. So let's start with our practical introduction to Excel. So let me just close this one. I'm going to save it. Okay, so let's just save it on our desktop as lesson one. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so when you open Excel, according to the version that you have, mostly versions from 2013 going up, this is what you're going to see. Although I think 2007 Excel mostly just opens to the book. So we're not going to mind any of these templates that we've been given here. We're going to concentrate on a blank workbook. So let's simply open our blank workbook, and that's what we see. So Excel opens up, we've got so many tabs. We've got the home tab, we've got file, we've got insert, we've got page layout, and the rest. Okay, so we're going to be using a number of things, but the focus of this lesson is simply to learn the basics. Okay, so to start with, I guess you can see Excel, the pages in Excel just look like there's a table all over, right? There are cells all over. These items that we are seeing here, where I can click and input some data, are called cells. Now, when I type something, let's say I can put anything. I can say, okay, I want 5 there, I want 4 there, I want 3 there, I want, yeah, and then you can use your arrows to navigate. Okay, so your arrow keys on the keyboard, or you can simply click in the cell that you want. Then an interesting thing is we actually have what we call cell addresses or names of the cells. So the names of the cells are taken by the column and the row where the cell is located. Okay, so columns, always know columns go down and rows go sideways. All right, so I guess you can see the names of the rows, or of the rows and the columns. So this is column A, column B, that's row one, row two. And then another thing is I haven't really reached the end of these cells, so they can keep on going down as much as your data can go. Okay, so even to the right, if we go, I guess you can see our columns are increasing. Now we've gone as far as DM, ND. So if we click in this cell, we're going to see our cell address in the name box here. Okay, so this is DN6. So if we go down, we click in this cell, this is DQ165. So let's try to go back to A1. Okay, we can simply even type A1 in there like that, A1, and we press enter. So we're in cell A1. So you can navigate to a cell in so many ways. You can navigate just by using your arrow keys on the keyboard. You can navigate by using your mouse. You can also navigate if it's touch screen. You can simply touch your screen, go to the cell where you want to input some data, or you can simply type the name of the cell or the address of the cell. So if I want to go to O10, I can simply say O10 like that, and I mean O10. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some basic arithmetic. If we look at our content here, yeah, we've looked at cells. That's basically it. Let's look at some basic arithmetic. So we can do so many simple and so many complicated things in Excel. Okay, so we're going to start with the easy stuff, like addition. So addition is very easy. I'm going to come up with some numbers here. So let's say let's just input some numbers, something like that. Okay, yeah, let's just any numbers, just any numbers. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so and then we can just copy these numbers so that we have more. So copying, okay, you can simply highlight. So highlighting, you simply hold your the first cell where you're starting from, hold the left mouse button or your primary mouse button, and then you simply go, you know, the direction where you want to highlight, and then you can simply hold Control and C to copy, and then you can click in the cell where you want to paste and just say paste like that. So if I want to paste here, I'll simply do that. I guess you can see that. We can undo using Control Z, or we can simply just do this. Yeah. Okay, so we have this data here, and then let me before we go ahead, I want to show you one interesting thing. Excel knows so many things, like you know, the normal series that the common series that we have. Like, let's say we've got months, huh? So we've got January, we've got February, March, April, May up to December. Now, if you're typing such stuff, you don't really have to type everything like January, February, you know. You simply have to just type the first one, which is January, of course, and then I guess you can see the way the cursor is looking right now. The cursor is white and kind of thick, but if I go to, I guess you can see each cell, every time I click into a cell, on the bottom right corner, we can see to say there is some square there. Yeah, this one here. So when I go to that square, the cursor changes to a dark and thinner cursor. So we simply hold our left mouse button or a primary mouse button, and then we just go down. So it will be telling us where the month where we are. So now I'm in December, and I can simply let go, and it's done that for me. All right, and then we can actually say Jan. It still knows, just JN. It still knows to say, okay, we still want to go up to December. And then let's say we've got things like, for example, player 1, and then I want to go up to player 100. So it's very easy. I'll simply just go down like that. I guess you can see we've got so many players. Like, yeah. So it's very easy. Anything that you type, even something that doesn't make sense, as long as I put a number like 1, for example. Yeah. And then you can also start from anywhere. You can even start from March if it comes to months, and then we can simply just do that. Yeah, so that's it. If you want to delete everything, if you want to delete a certain highlighted area in Excel, you can simply just highlight everything and click the delete button. Don't click backspace. When you click backspace, what will happen is you're only going to delete the first cell. So let's click backspace. I guess you can see nothing has been deleted. But when I say I highlight this and I say delete, I guess you can see what has been highlighted has been deleted. So yes, that's all about it. We can simply also delete all that. Oh, why do I have to put so many? All right, and these two. Okay, so let's go back to what we're doing. Now we have our numbers here. Let's say we want to add this number and that number. So we know this is 7 and this is 9. Well, we can simply say 7 plus, I guess you can see the plus symbol on your keyboard, plus 9, and we press enter. Oh, sorry about that. So I guess you can see what has happened is it hasn't calculated. So always remember that you need an equal sign in front of your formula. Okay, so for Excel to recognize that you're inserting a function or a formula, you have to add an equal sign. Now, when I click in this cell here, which is H1, I guess you can see we've got our formula bar here. This is what shows the formula that was used to find what we have there. Okay, but if I click in here, since we just typed 6, we just typed 9 here, we just typed 7, we're just going to be seeing the numbers themselves. But if they were found using a formula, the formula will be shown like the way it is for 16 here. When you click 16, it shows say 7 and 9 were used. Now, what happens when I change this number? So I'll tell someone to say I added this number and this number. But what happens if I change this number to 10? Okay, it doesn't add up. This number and this number is supposed to give us 19. So when we're adding or when we're doing any calculations in Excel, we have to use the cell reference names or the cell names. Okay, so we simply say equals. This time we're not using the number itself, we're using the cell address. So we simply click in the cell and then we say plus, and we click the other number that we want to add with. Okay, so we can still say plus and add with some more numbers, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that. Okay, and then we say enter to get the sum. Okay, now I guess you've seen to say, okay, what if we had numbers, like let's say what if we had so many numbers, like let's say we have that, we have that, we have that. Okay, now I want to add these numbers. So in order for me to add, am I going to do this? Equals that, okay, we've missed one cell, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that. It's really going to take so much time. Imagine you've got 1,000 numbers. Okay, so we've got a formula for adding multiple items, okay, which are maybe in the same row or in the same column. Okay, and that formula is as follows. We simply say equals, and what do we get after we add? We get the sum, huh? So we say equals sum, and then we can simply double click that sum there, or we can simply put our open bracket, sum, and then you put the first cell, so the sum of A1, 2. So for you to say 2, we're simply using the full colon there. Okay, 2. Okay, so I just want you to be seeing everything. So I'm going to delete something. I'm going to delete something. Let's just do this. Let's just delete. Maybe let's just delete. Yeah, these. Okay, so that we can have the formula in the data area. Same. Okay, so equals sum, open bracket, the first cell. We click in the first cell. 2, so we use the full colon, and then we click in the last cell and we close our bracket and press enter. So I guess you can see to say we found 135. Now what happens if we want to add all the rows? Okay, so let's say we've got multiple rows, huh? We're not going to type the formula everywhere. We're not going to type this formula everywhere. Like we're not going to have to type it here, there, there, there. Of course you can, but it's going to take you a lot of time. So the easiest way is you simply doing what we remember. We come to the bottom right of the cell where the formula is, and then you just go down and you let go from there. So it adds all the numbers, all the rows. Okay, so the sum of this row, the sum of this row, the sum of all the rows. Yeah, so that's basically it. Now let's just go back to having fewer numbers. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so that's on addition. Now, how about subtraction? Well, subtracting is easy. We can simply say equals the number we want to subtract. So let's say we're subtracting 10 minus 9. So you can simply type 10 minus 9. It's going to give us 1. But what if this number changes to 14? Okay, so the essence of using cell references is this. When you say equals that minus that, and you press enter, in case any of the numbers change, so let's say this number changes to 50 and I press enter, the answer that we had here is automatically going to change because we're no longer using the numbers, we're using the cell addresses or the cell names. Okay, so always use cell names, don't use the numbers that are in the cells. All right, so I hope you understand that. So that was for subtraction. Division also is very easy. We can simply say equals a number we're dividing. Let's say we're dividing 9. Divide the division symbol is simply the forward slash. 9 divided by, let's say, 6. Enter, and then we have, it actually shows us a decimal. All right, so that's it. We can also look at multiplication. So for multiplying, it's very easy. If we want to multiply some numbers, we can simply say equals this number multiplied by that number and press enter. Yeah, that's basically it. But then what if you want to multiply numbers coming from there to there? Of course, you can simply say equals that multiplied by that, multiplied by that, but that's going to take time. So we have a formula again for multiplying rows or columns or a range of numbers, I can say in short. So we say the equals, and then the answer we get after multiplying is the product. So we simply say equals product, and we open our bracket. We come from the first cell to, we put our full colon, and then we click in the last cell, and then we can close our bracket and press enter. Okay, so we have our product there, and we can see our formula from there. Okay, so in case you want to see all the formulas that are in your worksheet, a worksheet is simply what we're using right now. So we can actually make so many worksheets, and then we can even rename them. Like, let's say this is lesson 1. Okay, we can double click like that. We say lesson 2. If double clicking is not working for you, you can right click and then you say rename, and then we can say lesson 3, and you press enter, just like that. So don't worry, deleting, simply right click and you say delete, right click, you say delete. Yeah, so it's as easy as that, Now, in case you want to view all the formulas that are in your worksheet, like in our worksheet right now, we can simply go to formulas and we simply say show formulas. I guess you can see that right there. So here, instead of numbers being shown, we have formulas because we used formulas to find these numbers, but these numbers were just typed in, so we don't have any formulas there. All right, so we can simply turn that off to go back to our normal view and go back home. Yes. Now, I think that's basically it. But let me show you, I think, one or two more things. Remember, we can multiply all these numbers. We can also add all these numbers. But how do we subtract? Let's say we want to subtract all these numbers from our first number here. Okay, so let's say we change this number to 50, and we want to subtract these numbers from that number there. Okay, so we're simply going to say equals. In math, we're obviously going to say 50 minus the sum of these numbers, and that's exactly what we're going to do in Excel as well. So we simply say equals this number, which is F5, minus the sum of, so remember our addition formula. I'm simply combining two formulas here, subtraction and addition. So minus the sum of these numbers. Now I'm going to show you how to make your work easier. Instead of clicking here and saying to the last cell, we can simply even highlight. So we can say from there to there, all right? And we close our bracket and we press enter. So we've subtracted all these numbers from 50. I guess you can see that. So that's how you can combine formulas. It doesn't matter how complicated the formula is, as long as it works. It's as long as you've done it right, it's going to work and give you the right answer. So in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at more formulas like average, count, yeah, only to mention a few. So thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next lesson.